So, how do you how do you survive a traumatic brain injury? Well, I guess it's just by the grace of God if you survive a traumatic brain injury. Um, but how do you survive the recovery from it? How do you deal with it? How do you deal and survive dealing with 340 push-ups, squat jumps, and flutter kicks? And the answer is pretty much the same: is that you have to not think about how much more you have to do, what you haven't done yet, where the differences lie in where you were and where you are now, such as the fact that when you come back home from something like that, life isn't the same. Your capabilities for making dinner aren't the same. For getting dressed aren't the same. Um, it's a whole different world, and you have to really mentally not beat yourself up over it, and not psych yourself out whatsoever, because it is a game, and it is about where you are right now. And where I am right now is this push-up. Where I am right now is this task of getting dressed, or getting out of bed and making myself breakfast, and then going back to bed again. And today, I was able to do that a little bit better than I was able to do that yesterday, or last week, or last month. And I think for me, everybody's experience with a TBI is different, because there's different levels of TBI, and every body also, every person's body physically handles things differently, as well as your psychological capacity too for coping with it is different. But for me, I think probably the most frustrating thing that this experience has brought to me is when I've been 6 months out from something, and all of a sudden I relapse into experiencing something that I thought I would never have to deal with again. That I was like, okay, I'm past this phase, this level of suffering, or this level of symptoms, or the symptom at all is gone. It's done. I don't have to deal with it. But with a brain injury, anything can trigger stuff. Barometric pressure, stimuli from loud noises and flashing lights and crowds and people bumping into you. If there's enough of it, it can bring up all sorts of symptoms. And it's interesting to go through this, because as an athlete, as having had haven't been terribly injury prone, but as an athlete you have injuries, and equating a brain injury to like a sprain or a broken bone is kind of an interesting thing, because like I said, most of us don't think about the brain as the same way we do about the rest of our body. And so when we have a sprained ankle, or we break a bone and we're recovering from that injury, we often get the indicators that we're doing too much by, throbbing, or that area swelling up, and then okay, I've been walking too much, I gotta rest, I gotta elevate it, and do whatever. But when you're simply just walking down the street or in a grocery store, and all of a sudden your brain starts shutting your body down because it can't cope with whatever it is that it's perceiving, it's sensing in front of it. It's a difficult thing to deal with. So in this case, the brain can take an able body and make it disabled, because it will shut your body down to say, okay, time out, this is too much, we can't cope. We're going to shut you down so we can regroup, reevaluate, and deal with things. So that's been the biggest challenge in recovering from a traumatic brain injury, is dealing with the brain, dealing with itself. So anyways, but it's one foot in front of the other. And each day is different than the last day, and you just deal with it as it comes, not making it right or wrong, but just letting it be.